Hello ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome back to yet another video of Ed's Moto Mindset. Today we're going to test the GSX600F if it's a friendly beginner motor. And my friend Harold is on my own motor. We're gonna make a ride. This is his motor. It starts, it runs. Let's do this. So how this works, I made a pretty detailed list about what I think is important for a beginner rider, and I worked it out, and it gives it a sort of verdict how sensible it is to ride anything like this as your first motorcycle. The special part about today is that this exact motor is the motor I bought as my first, and I sold it to Harold, but this is the exact same machine. It's a Suzuki GSX600F, so it's a sport tourer from 1994, and we will talk about everything about this motor for a first time rider. So starting at the list, the first part is the riding part. There are 4 categories. I'll give it a number for that. And the first part about riding is the power. And to be completely honest, for a beginner, this engine makes quite a lot of power. It made 86 brake horsepower, which can be a handful when you're new to riding, and it's just no joke. So in that category I'll give it a 5 out of 10 for beginner friendliness. The second subcategory is the power distribution. So how does it he is taking the wrong exit, but how does it distribute the power to the user? And this engine is very smooth, butterly smooth, even smoother than my VFR right in front of me. And not only it's smooth, it's very predictable, and it's extremely satisfying. And if you want a lot of power, you really have to get it high into the revs. So if you're a beginner rider, it's hard to push out a lot of power without the it's hard to make a mistake because of the characteristics. So the power delivery gets a 9 out of 10. Second is the weight. Immediately when I hopped on this machine, I felt it's a lot lighter than the VFR. VFR didn't get a great score in weight, and it's a lot of a hell lighter, but it's not the lightest machine ever. I've ridden a lot of lighter machines, so it gets a 6. The next one is stability. It's a stable bike. That said, it's not as agile as a beginner rider maybe needs. So also, Harold. Wacht, wait a minute. We moeten rechts. Kom goed, volg maar. Stability, it's a stable machine, but it's maybe not as agile as a beginner bike should be, so it's also a 6. Aerodynamic, it's a sport tour machine, so it will give you reasonably wind reduction with the protection case, but it's not the best, it's not the worst. The VFR has a nice part where you can lift your knees, which makes it a hell of a lot better against the wind, and so that scores a 5 out of 10. Next category is fitting. It's more tending to the sportiest side. It's not a complete sport bike, of course. It's no super sport or anything. but it's a little sporty, and for longer rides that can be exhausting. And the seat is reasonably low, so your feet can hit the ground pretty easily. You can just stand on it and there's no problem with that. So I'll give it a 5. And the last part is the fun. I think this machine is incredibly fun. The only downside compared to the fun part maybe is the exhaust sound, which is minimal. Damn, this takes forever. The exhaust sound is a little bit minimal, but other than that, this machine is great fun. It's powerful, it's predictable, so it gets an 8. And the riding category, that will bring the riding category to a 6.29. We go left. So the riding category will bring it to a 6.29, which is good. It's not bad, it's not the best, but it's just good. Next category is reliability. And the overall reliability of these machines are decently okay. I would say when they were new, they were pretty cheap, and you feel that in the materials compared to this Honda, which was pretty expensive back in the day. You really feel it in the materials. But other than that, it's pretty great. They run, they keep running, and as long as you don't make a big mistake, this machine will run forever. So it gets a 7 out of 10. Again, a little cheaper parts from other motors from the area, but still a great machine in durability. Second part is age. This machine is made from 1986 till 1979, so that's a good 9 years. That makes it really old, and things do break over time, things do get worse over time. So it's for a beginner, it's really not ideal to have a machine this old. Stuff goes bad, you have to repair it, and the reliability part brings it back to a 2. So I give it a 2 for the age. The next part is knowledge. A lot of people drive these machines, not as many as the VFR, but a lot of people drive them. Many of them drive them still to this date because they're fun, because they're cheap, and because they're fine machines. So there's a lot of knowledge about it. As again, not as much as about the VFR, but I give it a 7 out of 10. And then the availability of parts. As I mentioned, I owned this bike for a year, and to my surprise, there are a few new items I couldn't order anymore. New, only with sketchy websites and secondhand. Secondhand is great. There are a lot of secondhand parts available, but new, you might have a little problem. So I'll give it a 6, which brings the reliability to a 5.5. Just okay. Then we go to safety, the third category, safety, and the first one is the brakes. This machine has a dual brake caliper set front and a single in the back, which tells you that Suzuki took it seriously. This machine took it very seriously, but compared to modern bikes, they're just not that great. The VFR brakes a lot better, and it's from the same area, so I'll give it a 5. Well, ABS, we can be short about ABS. It doesn't have ABS, it doesn't work, it doesn't have it, it never had, so a 1. And the last category is visibility, also a part where the Honda did bad on. I don't know why, but the front light, originally the front light is very, very dim. It looks like a candle or something. It's very, very little light. When it's dark, you don't have anything about you as a rider have problems seeing, and other people have problems seeing you. So that's very bad. And on this machine I replaced the headlight with a LED version, which makes a lot of hell more light, which is great. But when it came out of the factory, it was terrible. So I give it a 2 for visibility. Also the mirrors, they are very shaky. They're big, but they're shaky. It's hard to see anything in those mirrors. That makes the safety to a whopping 2.67, which is not great. Let's be honest. And the last category is price, and that is where this machine really shines. As a beginner rider, you want something that is reliable. You want something that will teach you how to ride, and maybe not. And very important, it doesn't have to break the bank when something goes wrong, and that is where this machine really shines. It's the cheapest of the cheapest you can buy. You can buy them all the way from 400 euros to maybe 1500 euros in a very good state, and that makes it very reasonable. If something goes wrong, if you drop it on the street, it's really not a big deal. So I'll give the price category I think it's a 10. Yeah, I thought it was a 10, but I couldn't read it. So the price category, it goes a 10. And maintenance wise, it's basically the same story as the VFR. It's a sport bike. It has a lot of plastics get old. If you have to do something, you have to remove all the plates, and then you can't just do anything. So it's more labor intensive when you or your mechanic does something. And but other than that, parts are reasonably priced. The machine is very simple, so the maintenance cost will be a 6, and then the last is operational cost. So that means insuring and filling the gas tank. And insuring is not as cheap as you might think, because it has a reasonable amount of horsepower, and fuel. It's a carbureted bike, and that means you only can tank gasoline without ethanol, which is more expensive, of course. And also, it's not very fuel economy. So fuel economy is not great. It's better than VFR, but it's smaller, and it's an inline 4 instead of a V4, which is a little less wear and tear. Anyway, I will give it a 4 onto fuel economy and insuring this machine, which brings the price category. Oh, I didn't put the average on my sheet. So 10, 6, 16, 4, 20, 20 divided by 3, 7 point something on average on the price category, which is great. And so if you sum those 4 numbers up, so the riding, the reliability, the safety features, and the price features, and you sum it up and you divide it to each other, you get a 5.3, which is of course not the best. It's a lovely machine. I learned a lot on it, but there are way better options when you're starting a motor riding career. And yeah, that's my honest review about this lovely bike. Passing my friend here. I miss him sometimes. It's just a little fun machine, you know. It's lightweight. It's more lightweight than the VFR. It's just fun, you know. It shifts really well, by the way, especially the H. And the back brakes are good. Front brakes are meh. Back brakes good. So that will be this video. If you like this kind of video, please subscribe and like and comment, and you know the drill. I will insert a video of my dog, in case someone didn't know yet. On every video I end with a video of my dog, so I'll get the cuteness factor to 1,000,000, and you all subscribe and like my videos. So Again, thank you for watching, and see you in the next video. Cheers!